Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to have you here with us. What does it mean to you to be here for this award for Ghosts?
Yeah, it's great. It's nice to see the guys again. It's been a while. Usually around this time we'd be filming, so we haven't been able to actually get together. Obviously not all of us can make it. People are busy. Charlotte Ritchie. But it's nice to have a reason to get together and hopefully go home with something.
And for people who aren't familiar with Ghosts, can you tell us a bit about the show and your role within it?
For people who aren't familiar with Ghosts, where have you been, is my question. 5 years. It's a show about a couple who inherit a county home, and it is filled with ghosts, and my wife can see them and I can't. And it's just us. It's a flat share comedy, basically, but it's got a load of ghosts in it.
And when you first read the script, what was the appeal for you, and what do you think makes it so fresh and different from what's come before?
It was one of the first scripts I read that I could really hear myself straight away. I didn't feel like I had to change much to make the character work, or I just think it was really well written, really funny, and I was very excited to get involved. And 5 years later, I still feel the same way when I was reading the scripts of the last series. And it's just a really fun part and a really fun group to be involved in.
And it does look like you and your fellow cast have so much fun making it. What were some of the highlights? Anything go wrong along the way?
What was some of the I mean, every day was really fun. It was just like, we don't know which combination of people it's going to be in the green room, because there was always different scenes being filmed different times. So it was always fun to find out who you're going to be in the room with for a day. There's so many in jokes that wouldn't make sense to anybody else who wasn't there on that day. And literally, if you miss maybe like 1 hour of green room chat, then you miss out on a joke that lasts for the rest of all time. So it was just a really fun thing to be involved in.
And was there a lot of kind of improv? You know, did you have a favourite line or a favourite moment?
There's not that much improv, actually. It's really well written. There's 6 of them, and everyone's throwing in bits. And we occasionally would, for those of us that weren't writing it, Katie, Lolly, myself, and Charlotte, we'd throw bits in as well. But it's most of my favourite lines are from other characters, to be honest. Mainly Pat. Yeah.
And seeing the reaction, seeing how much people have connected with it, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, I went from being on YouTube and having like school children come up to me and tell me that they like my stuff, to whole families saying that it's the only show that they sit down and watch together. So it's really nice. Yeah.
And are you working on anything else? Can we see you anything else next? Or?
Just a play's just been announced that I'm going to do in the spring, with Vicky Pepperdine and Dan Skinner, called The Government Inspector. And I'm doing my own improv shows as well. So yeah, busy.
Where do your ambitions lie? Have you got anything on your bucket list? People you'd like to work with? Genres you'd like to try?
I don't know, actually. I'm gonna see what's on my table. Hopefully enjoy the food. I haven't looked at the menu yet. Have you?
Just pop yourself up.
No. I'm good. Well, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
And how do you see the landscape at the moment, theatre, TV in the UK? Do you think there's a lot of opportunities out there in terms of comedy, maybe specifically?
I think it's a good time to be making new comedy, and we're seeing a lot of new comedy coming out there. Such Brave Girls, for example. Things You Should Have Done, the Cheers show. There's a lot of new comedies coming out, so I think it's a great time for like writer performers to create their stuff and bring it out and to show the world what they can do. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would change or improve?
56.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of things. I'd like to improve the diversity in front and behind the camera. I'd like to do riskier things. Like I did a sketch show short 2 years ago, and quite a lot of channels are like, oh, we're not sure about making sketch shows, and I think people just need to take more risks.
Do you think it's all become a bit too PC or something? I don't know. I think back to things like The Fast Show or whatever. Maybe you could be a bit more bold and a bit more close to the bone than you can now.
I think it's a lot. I think there's a lot of reasons. I think there's a lot of like sort of boring money stuff. But I do think people should just take risks and like try and make funny stuff. That's what, after all, comedy should be. Comedy. It should be funny. And I think we're seeing a lot of like comedy dramas happening, but I think we should also keep the same amount of out and out comedies happening and see what the success brings.
Were there any shows you watched growing up, or any of your heroes that inspired you to go into comedy?
Yeah, I mean, Phone Shop, for example. Phone Shop, for example, is one of my favourite shows, and yeah, that I feel was probably quite risky to just like throw these people together who hadn't worked together before with a writer who had done a few bits but hadn't had his own show out before, and I think those sort of risks are the kind of things that I want to see more of, and yeah, Phone Jacker, Face Jacker, those sort of things, like people doing their own vehicles and people really believing in them and pushing what they want to make. I think I want to see more of that, yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Really enjoyed the day. Lovely to chat to you. Thank you.